Welcome to the Voluson Performance Series video tutorials. 3D Gynecology. When planning to acquire a 3D volume, it is important to optimize your 2D settings. Before beginning, ensure that you are using a Gynecology 2D imaging preset and that the area that will be the center of the volume is the 2D imaging plane displayed. In this example of a uterus, you begin in the mid-sagittal plane. It is also helpful to open the 2D sector width to maximum to include as much anatomy as possible. To start the acquisition, select the 3D, 4D hard key and choose 3D from the display menu. 3D has its own set of presets, so when preparing to acquire a volume, select an appropriate 3D preset. A yellow region of interest, or ROI box, will appear on the monitor that you will place over the area that you want to acquire as a volume. The position and size of this box can be adjusted using the trackball and top trackball key. The green line is the render line, the position from which the rendered volume is viewed. The area within this ROI is the anatomy that will be included within the volume. When acquiring a 3D volume, ensure that the width of the volume will encompass the anatomy to be included within the volume. This is controlled by the volume angle setting. The volume angle will need to be set appropriately to help ensure the sweep begins lateral to the uterus and ends after the transducer has traversed the entire sagittal uterus. The resolution of the volume is controlled by the quality setting. As in 2D, most IQ enhancement settings are a trade-off with frame rate. The higher the quality setting, the slower the acquisition will be, thus collecting more information in the volume and increasing resolution. Use the highest settings to achieve good resolution. Once these parameters are set, you are ready to acquire your volume. Begin by scanning what will be the center of the volume. Select the Start trackball key to begin acquisition. The elements in the probe will scan from one side of the uterus to the other, as seen in this graphic display. Once the acquisition is complete, the volume should be displayed in a multiplanar view. Selecting the Freeze key, or Vol-Pre trackball key, will cause the system to return to a live scanning state, so it's important to store the volume as soon as the acquisition is complete. To concentrate on the sectional planes, remove the rendered image by selecting Multiplanar from the display menu. In this quad display, the upper left image is known as the A plane, the plane of acquisition. The upper right image is known as the B plane, which is 90 degrees orthogonal cross-section from the A plane. The lower left image is known as the C plane, which is 90 degrees orthogonal in the horizontal direction of the A plane. The parallel shift control knob will pan through each of these planes to evaluate the anatomy in more detail. Select the reference image by using the trackball keys. The axis dot is the same point in space in all three planes, so as you use the trackball to move this dot in one plane, the other planes move along accordingly. In addition to these controls, there are three rotational choices of each of these planes. The x-axis rotates the plane on a horizontal axis at the level of the axis dot. The y-axis can be accessed by pushing on the PW control knob until y is highlighted. This rotates the plane on a vertical axis at the level of the axis dot. And the z-axis rotates in plane, like a cartwheel, around the axis dot. An easy way to evaluate the uterus is to use the Z technique, meaning the only axis you rotate is Z. First, place the axis dot at the level of the endometrium in the A plane. Rotate the A plane on the Z axis until the endometrium is horizontal. Use the trackball key to activate the B plane. Then, rotate the B plane on the Z axis until the endometrium in the transverse plane is also horizontal. Use the trackball key to activate the C plane and rotate on the Z-axis until the fundus is upright in the 12 o'clock position. The C plane can also be displayed as a single screen, then parallel shift through it. This plane of the uterus is unique in ultrasound 3D imaging, as it is not a plane accessible in 2D imaging. VCI may be added for additional slice thickness and contrast resolution. The Voluson Performance Series is an easy-to-use system with excellent image quality and performance to help meet the daily needs of your practice.